Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Rise of the Golden Idol. We're on what I imagine is the last part of Chapter 3, which is called The Machine, I think. And judging by how things are going, I think we're going a little bit further back in time from the previous one. The procedure. A bizarre operation ends in bloodshed. There is bloodshed, yep. Someone strapped to a chair. Possibly dead, but not for sure. These guys look like cops or security of some kind. Whoa, what the hell? Okay, so these are the steps the idol will be taking. This is inside the Harmony Foundation. Like, maybe this one was decrease and this was increase? Did I get those wrong? I could go check the old game, but I'm sure this game can be played without knowledge of the old one. So we're draining all of the blood or knowledge or something out of a person and putting it into another? Yeah, this one must be decrease if it's step 1. And it depicts decreasement. And this must be increase, and I just don't remember it correctly. Okay. Meanwhile, next door, she's brandishing the golden idol at some people. Okay, yeah, so this is that other room I saw before, but it clearly doesn't go to the opaque lab. It just goes to this. That's weird. Well, I'd like to know what year it is, I guess. Oh, this coat belongs to you, presumably. Let's start out here, I guess. Universalism 101, the fundamental forces. Order, empathy, justice, chaos, hatred, and injustice. Sure. They have opposite forces. Okay, well, before I start clicking on things, what can I say about what's happening? There's some procedure which I imagine the golden idol or the device based on it is inside of this housing. And it was using electrodes to suck up people's something and put it into someone else. But something bad happened here. The electrodes, well, what is this? These are detached. And they're not necessarily attached. Like, these you would expect to be attached directly to skin. So what's with these little strings? Or presumably wires. Huh, I don't know. I don't think we recognize any of these people. Obviously, we recognize this place. This is Marie Westlake, the lab leader, whatever her role was. I guess it's here. Extra physical lab lead. And this is this Mr. Spender? I don't know what that is or what you expected it to do, but nothing's changed, Tessa. It's over. Pack your bags. We're terminating this project. So she wanted to, like, use the golden idol to blow him up or something. She's clearly wielding it like a weapon. But it isn't working. And I imagine... Well... You know, I kind of take back what I said about the golden idol being in... The device for the golden idol being in here. It kind of looks like they put the golden idol here, aim it through a little hole at one specific person who's sitting in this chair. Right? So they don't have both, they don't have someone here and someone here at the same time. They have the idol here, one person gets their brain sucked up or something, and then a new person sits down and they get their brain injected into them or whatever. Right, the story talks about, they believed it could, help people, do something. Could, I don't know. They wanted to take something out from people who have too much of it and give it to people who don't have enough. Somehow. So she has the idol, which presumably is functioning. Or, as far as she knew, she expected it to function because it wasn't in the device over there. It's here. And then she says, I'm gonna set you on fire, but it, doesn't work. If I had to guess, it's because, it's in expel heat mode or whatever. Expel something. But it doesn't have any something to expel. It was used up earlier, and she doesn't realize it. Maybe. Yeah, so that's do something with heat. I think she's trying to set him on fire. But if this one is increase, isn't it? This looks like decrease, right? Yeah, I don't quite understand. Okay, but for some reason... Well, actually, let's back up a moment here and go look at what the device looked like when it successfully set a person on fire. Yeah, increase matter heat. So this is increase, expel, whatever. And the device was red before he touched it and blue after he touched it. When he set it off. So currently, it's blue. So it has been issued an expel heat command, I guess. So she's not trying to freeze him or something. She's trying to set him on fire. The device isn't working, probably because it has no heat stored up. Okay. Level readings. Enlighten meter works best when subject focusing on loved one and what they mean to them. Phases 1 and 2 complete when all subjects' heat levels are 0? And thus, something levels are 100, i.e. enlightenment. Whoa. I don't think someone's heat levels should be 0. I think that's heat. I didn't look very carefully what was at the third symbol in the laboratory, but I think it was this. So subjects. They haven't gotten to the end levels for whatever reason. What's with these, drawings? They're not just restatements of the numbers, clearly, because 80 is written in the two different columns with different drawings. These three drawings are the same, but this one is different. Okay, I don't understand this. I mean, I gotta go see. That symbol I said was heat. That is what it is, right? Or energy or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So they want subjects to have 0 heat. They're like freezing people to help them relax? Very strange. Okay, can you stop bothering me? And I don't know what this is, but we'll find out, I imagine. The guy's got a triangle on his forehead. My mentor was the wisest man I've ever known. June 1950s. This is several years ago. A pen. I told you, she's a quack. I bet none of the junk in here works. God knows what we're going to do with it all. Also a pen. And she uses a blue pen, we found out earlier. So she received this letter, and she's sketched some notes on it. Dear Dr. Westlake, as per your request, here's my assessment of Madame Navari and her Harmony Foundation. Simply put, Ms. Navari is an incompetent practitioner of false history and pseudoscience. She claims, for instance, that the longer one follows her teachings, the more enlightened they become. Well, I mean, almost anybody who teaches anything would claim that. But how does she measure this? With a device that provides no quantifiable data. I believe she simply sees in this machine's readings whatever she expects to, based on her above claim. Stay skeptical. The Reason Institute. Now that's the thing led by the Novaks, right? The institute that bribed the police chief with a computer, and also, I believe, bribed the couple who found Isaac Novak's body. I think that was the Reason Institute. We can check later if it matters. So this drawing could be 5 or 55 or 80, which is nonsense. Yes, I mean, I also didn't understand it, but I didn't say it was nonsense. 5, 55, and 80, yes, the same drawing. I agree. It does seem confusing, but I don't think that this drawing means 5. I think there are 2 separate things she's measuring. A 5, a 55, and an 80 are on one axis of measurement, and these drawings are somehow on another axis. Maybe. That would explain this without her necessarily being a complete idiot scam artist. Commencement address, first draft. Make intro more impactful. Needs to grab their attention. Welcome. It said followers, but it's been changed to dedicants. People to whom something is being dedicated? I must be dedicants. Since the dawn of time, various fundamental forces have been at war in the universe. Those we locally call the light and the dark have also fought inside every individual. Today, within each of us, the light will finally seize victory. We will all become enlightened. Too dramatic? Take another stab at this section. Okay. Universalism 102, the key powers, exercise sheet. Exercise 1, connect each power to its counterpart. Hint, each power has only one counterpart, so you only need 3 lines. I see. Well, this does seem pretty simple. I feel like a chimpanzee could solve this puzzle. Okay. Well, I'm not being asked to solve it. This is just giving me some words. Each day here brings us closer to enlightenment. I never noticed that this is not a circle. Like, I noticed that this is not the typical curvy yin-yang, but I didn't notice that this isn't the typical white circle we'd see. It's actually like jagged or a kind of house shape, a Monopoly house or, something like that. Interesting. What does it matter why she let them in or why they're doing this? Just send help. The cops or... I don't know. I can't tell who's... I mean, okay, the flowers in her hair indicate she's on board with the Harmony Foundation, right? That's the hippie faction. Dear Dedicant Robinson. Okay, that's probably her. I'm delighted to inform you that you've been chosen to take part in the Harmony Foundation's first ever New Dawn procedure. Please bring this letter, which includes an agenda overleaf, to include the retreat... Don't repeat the word include, it's not there. To the retreat center on Friday, April 13th. For accurate readings, you should also bring a photograph of someone you love. On it, write a brief message about them. Blessings always, Tessa Navari. My uncle, always the life of the party, just turned 50. Was there some space thing happening in the 70s? Is that when the moon landing was? I thought it was in the 60s. Okay. She's been in the Harmony Foundation for 6 months, presumably. Agenda. Arrival, commencement address, levels reading, elimination and replenishment, new levels reading, gratitude, meditation, departure. Man, you gotta be here for over 5 hours to do this. Like, one scientific procedure, huh? Okay. So she clearly is Mrs. Robinson, right? She has a letter addressed to Mrs. Robinson. Conceivably, she could be sending it, but we know Tessa sent it. And also, she has the objects she's supposed to bring. So we can write down that name at least. I guess we can name everyone else completely, can't we? You're Marie Westlake. Oh, I don't have that name. Oh, also there are people I don't have yet, I guess? Yes. Okay. But you're Tessa Navari. Those are the names I have so far. Okay. Tim Spender, manager, speculative investment division. Yes, I know who that is. Call Pinnacle Security for a free quote. So that must be who these guys are. Is that the symbol on their heads? Yeah. Okay. Peace and blessings, madame. Please allow me to bring someone along to this historic event. The person I have in mind is practically consumed with hatred. No one needs this more. I beg you to give them a shot. They're removing hatred, they think? Anger? And filling it with peace? While the opposite of hatred is empathy. Right? So that must be what they're removing hatred. Boy, I wonder where they're dumping it all. Okay. Because the idol we learned in the last game doesn't create or destroy anything. It sucks things up and then has to spit them out somewhere before it can do anything else. So they must be sucking up all the hatred and dumping it into birds or something, right? Okay. Fine. Thank you. Oh, thank you, madame. We both look forward to seeing you very soon. Interesting. So she agreed, I guess, to let So maybe she's going to be part of the first ever New Dawn, which presumably is the procedure that replaces hatred with empathy. But she wanted to bring along someone else to also get the same process done. You know, her abusive ex-boyfriend? Maybe? This guy? Where am I? Well, no, he's been in... Yeah, okay. He's been in the Harmony Foundation for one day. I want to say this is a family member of some kind she brought along. Could be an ex-boyfriend, could be her brother, we don't know. I mean, okay, ex-boyfriend usually you wouldn't call a family member, but like, current boyfriend, ex-husband, maybe, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, someone related to her, perhaps. Family program, Neil Remington, funeral program. June of 1900 to 1975, which was a few years ago, right? A few months ago. Because this is like, actually we don't have today's date. Dad taught me the importance of standing up for family. Neil Remington is somebody's father. Perhaps yours? But, I mean, it doesn't have to be your father, right? You have a copy of a funeral program that someone else put together. Neil Remington is that person's father. Perhaps yours, but perhaps not. I can't believe it. We were so close. She's been here for presumably a while. A year, okay. Dear Dedicant Hall, I'm delighted to inform you have been chosen to take part in the first New Dawn procedure. Okay, I see. For accurate readings, bring a photograph of someone you love. Okay, so the same thing we saw before. But your name is Hall. Same agenda. Oh, actually... Yeah, the times are the same as well, right? Your cat, Mittens. Mittens had endless affection for everyone. Yes, they're extracting all of your hate and replacing it with empathy is the idea. So that's probably what this symbol means, or how they're interpreting it. Right, because this one, well, actually, yeah, this one is heat. Huh. Shouldn't this symbol be on as well? Increase matters heat? Is it not working because she didn't give it the right 3 buttons? She should know better, right? So I think in the lab there were 3 symbols on, and now only 1. Maybe this is using it in flamethrower mode, and the other mode it causes you to spontaneously combust? Not sure. Can't see the current date. Enlightenment meter 3000. It produces measurements of both heat and enlightenment, I guess. Crystal powered technology. So they have described this as something not meaning heat, right? Well, no, they haven't said. When this level is 0 and these levels are 100. That's when phases 1 and 2 are complete. All subjects. So they were going to do this to multiple people at once, even though the room only looks set up for one person. So maybe it was like, okay, we'll have the idol. You sit in this chair, we're going to suck up all your hate. Now get out of the chair. Someone else get in the chair. We're going to keep sucking up hate. Get out of the chair. We're going to suck up the third person's hate, right? Something like that. And then they were going to give each person enlightenment. It's not clear to me where they're putting the hate or where they're getting the enlightenment after all this. And also why they think hate and heat are the same thing. Sucking up all of someone's heat, setting it to 0, seems extremely dangerous. Sort of explains why this guy is saying, "Where am I?" Like, you put them in a coma and then give them empathy? Well, so let's think back to chapter 1, actually. The Red Curse. Or was that chapter 2? Chapter 1. Right, there were all these, like, people who died with red eyes. And, you know, allegedly due to a drug cult, but, you know, demon worshipping drug cult. But presumably it was actually something that the Harmony Foundation was doing to people. And I wonder, like, did any of those people act strangely before they were found or before they died? Like, at first I thought, when we were doing the movie theater theme, I thought that Sarah Cunningham, the movie theater owner, had been mind controlled somehow, because in the middle of a phone call she left and became clumsy and had, like, was saying things slowly and nobody can leave, right? I thought someone had mind controlled her to crash her car. But it turns out she left suddenly because she noticed something, and she actually did want to stop people from leaving, like, for a reason. So she wasn't mind controlled. But if you took away all of somebody's heat and then gave them unlimited empathy, what exactly would that mean? Like, perhaps they would be very suggestible. They would just say, "Oh yeah, whatever you want. I want that too." And they could be controlled like a mind-controlled zombie of sorts, right? It's possible. And would also explain why, a bunch of homeless people had been targeted by this red curse. Because, if you wanted to assemble an army of obedient slaves, but it turned their eyes red when you made them into a slave, you wouldn't take someone high profile, because while they might have more useful access to things, it would be noticeable that their eyes have been turned red, right? Whereas if you take homeless people, like, nobody really is going to notice they're missing, or I don't know. So maybe I think that sort of is like going out on a limb, but I'm trying to understand, like, what this taking some brain material out and putting other brain material in, like, why would an organization want to do that to a bunch of people? Are they really hippies? Maybe some of them are. I don't think the people in charge are. Right? Tessa clearly knows the idol can do many powerful things. She's trying to reassemble the power that Lazarus Hearst had. So I suspect she has some ulterior motive, and making people zombies is something that sort of matches with this idea. But I can't say for sure. Okay, what is this? Myson. That is one of the people from Pinnacle Security whose name tag fell off and is covered in blood. Or, well, not covered, but splotched anyway. These tree huggers can never just come quietly, can they? You alright, Bruce? Okay, so that person's name is Bruce. And this is Billy Greer. So Bruce Nyson or Myson or something. You're Billy Greer. Okay, back to interrogating them. He has a taser. Okay, those are the strings falling out of this guy, I guess. Morning orders. Meet Mr. Spender and his colleague Marie at 7 Sweet Pea Drive at 9:20 a.m. Bring tasers, but only for self-defense. Yes, for example, tasing people who are just sitting in a chair. Very, very cops. Before removing occupants, explain our hands-off approach to the new guy. I guess that's you? Ensure all property remains inside the building. It belongs to OPIG now. Static. That. Crackle deployed. Scratch that. Idle deployed. Some words missing. Okay. So you're the new guy, I assume. I'll survive. I guess that freak's got a thing for Little Miss Daisy Chain, eh? That freak? Is that you? Who stabbed you? You have a taser. Copy that. Police deployed. Okay, so this is just the two of them together in some insane coincidence. Got alternate words. Okay. What a puzzle. Okay, sure. May the light of empathy dispel the dark force. Okay, so more names. We now have Marie's name. How did I give you the name Robinson? You're Remington. I mean, your last name could be Remington, but no proof. Yeah, I think this guy's been tased. That's what these little strings dangling out are. Do any of their tasers look different, or do they both look the same? Oh yeah, this one's still got the little hooks in it. And this one doesn't, so yeah. He shot his taser at this guy. Perhaps while he was in the chair, perhaps not. The sandal here. It's one of these guys, this guy's shoes, I guess. Footprints. What is this? What is that? Can I zoom, please? I know I can't, but I wish I could. There's some crystals over here. Is that the other sandal, just kind of further away? So there's two names from up here that I'm not using, presumably. One of them I imagine is Neil right? I imagine this guy's last name is Remington, and it is his dad, but I mean, I'm not sure. We were so close. Ted Hall, did I get that already? I did. Sam, Alex, and Charlie. Do I have these names? I do. Well, they must be these three people. All of those are somewhat gender-neutral names, aren't they? Although back in the 70s, I feel like Charlie was probably mostly for men. I mean, I think it still sort of is mostly for men, but there definitely are women out there named Charlie, and certainly Alex and Sam could be either. Well, now, okay, each of these, they add to 100 in each column. So the total of your hate and empathy is always 100, according to the Foundation's understanding of neurology or whatever. So, if anyone's heart is mostly full of hate, it's the person that this woman wanted to bring with her, right? We've already done levels reading, I suppose. Oh, can I see what time it is? There's a clock somewhere, isn't there? Yeah. It's not quite centered, but okay. It's like 9:20, 9:25, something like that. So they've done levels reading, but haven't quite started elimination. So it makes sense that these are the readings we got, and that she would rate herself as very high on empathy. Okay, sure. I wonder if she was going to have herself go last. And, like, suck up something useful from everybody else and give it to herself. Like, it looks like she's sucking up heat, but I mean, she could pull a fast one. You wouldn't want to just cool down a bunch of people to set yourself on fire. That's not really an ulterior motive. But if she were using something other than heat, it's like, I still don't think she's a true believer. I wonder, yeah, if she might choose to go last. I don't know. And then, like, switch the controls while nobody's looking to deposit everything she just stole from everyone into herself, right? They were all, in the original, the case of the Golden Idol, Lazarus was stealing people's youth and giving it to himself. Increasing age or decreasing youth. I forget which one it actually was. But I guess the idol always decreased something to store in itself. So yeah, it was decreasing youth on other people and then increasing it on himself. She could be doing that, something like that here, decreasing some other property. Although it looks like she's just taking heat, which doesn't make sense. I don't know these people's names. They're Sam, Alex, and Charlie. Anyway, I guess I got kind of distracted. The new guy in this conversation here is practically consumed by hatred, right? And this is the new guy because he's only been the member for a day. And the person who has the most bad stuff, hatred, this, is Alex. So I think that's who this is. I think this is Alex. Alex Remington, I guess. These two, I don't quite know who's Sam and who's Charlie. Ah, right. She has this because she also needs a photo of someone she admired or loved. It's weird that this is over her head and like in this, and also this picture has like it was taken at the same time. What about you? This is just a picture of your cat. Like you didn't get the memo on that, I guess. Also, I guess this is what it's reading, which must be the last person to have been read, which I assume is you. We get the frowny face and the, I don't know, weird butterfly thing. which looks sort of like this. So that makes sense. Well, wait a minute. If Alex in the chair is the last one to be read, why is this thing displaying an old reading? I mean, I guess it's not plugged into anything. But how did she get the levels? I guess she probably just wrote these down in the order she was doing them, right? Read herself, read Sam, read Alex, read Charlie, and that's what's currently stored in the machine, is Charlie's results. And then for some reason, well, I mean, Alex is strapped in. He didn't just fall into this chair when he got shot. They were going to start with him. So they're done with the readings. They were going to start doing an actual process to him. He was going to be first. But that doesn't tell me which of you... is Sam and which is Charlie. I guess this is all assuming that, like, being consumed with hatred actually is able to be reflected in the levels read here. Because Alex is the one with all the hatred, if that's what this is. What does it matter why she let them in or why they're doing this? Just send help. Yeah, she let in the cops. I mean, she doesn't own the place anymore, right? Like, OPIG owns it, I guess. They seized it from her. Or they always owned it and they were letting her use it, but now they're not. Something like that. Huh. Okay, so that freak, that's you, has a thing for Little Miss Daisy Chain. That's her. So I'm going to go with, like, ex-boyfriend or boyfriend or something like that. Now, we don't know for sure who left this message, right? It could be the person currently on the phone, or it could be the woman in the other room. Either one of them could have done it. I don't know your name from, like, somewhere else, do I? I don't think so. These are all, like, the same. Okay, well, maybe I'll leave the names of those two people on hold for now. And move on with the other things it has in mind to help me understand what's going on. According to this person, what do these symbols mean? Yeah, well, we know some of it. Blue and... Okay, fine. So... this is hatred. This is empathy. And we have eliminate and replenish. So this is eliminate, right? Clearly, according to these signs. Yeah, fine. Next thing, well, just names and event, huh? Teysa Navari and some of her buddies, her order, her dedicants, were at the Harmony Foundation for a procedure. The aim was to first eliminate hatred and then increase or replenish empathy, resulting in enlightenment. They were interrupted by people who wanted to seize? I guess. Seize everything at the Harmony Foundation. In the large room downstairs, I guess you would call this the large room, and it is downstairs. Somebody whose name we do know. Bruce Myson. Or wait. Which one? No, it was you who shot him. Billy Greer. Billy Greer shot, I think, Alex Remington? Remington, right? Yeah. I'm not so sure on that Alex thing, but I think it makes sense. In response, yeah, this is where it gets a little fuzzy. So where did all the blood come from? Does she have any blood on her? Maybe. She left a sandal behind. I wondered where the other sandal from that pair went. Maybe this wasn't his, it was hers. It sort of makes sense that, like, yeah, Miss Daisy, he has a thing for Miss Daisy Chain, but also clearly Miss Daisy Chain has a thing for him. Yeah, so she's the one who brought him in. We knew that. But I don't know her name. Her last name. Her first name. I know her last name is Robinson. Robinson, like, she stabbed him? Like, what happened to his arm? This crystal. I wondered what this was earlier. I now see it's a blood-stained crystal from over here. Got it. She stabbed him. Well, actually not him. The other guy. Bruce. Bruce Myson. With a crystal. Well, maybe this isn't right, actually. I think actually... Well, no, what is the order of all this? Because this shooting doesn't necessarily have to have happened. Maybe he grabbed someone. Somebody grabbed somebody. And then the crystals and the shooting happened. These guys have, like, a policy of non-shooting this, right? Tasers only for self-defense. So, assuming they're actually following their policy, one of these cops grabbed somebody, presumably you, because you're the one who got stabbed. Then somebody stabbed you, and then your partner shot that person. I would say you, except you are strapped in, man. How? Well, you got blood on your hand, maybe, I think. It's gotta be you. You did the stabbing. I don't know how, because you're strapped in, but the lines on your hand, they're hinting all over the place that the crystal is what leaves behind these lines, because it's got corners, right? Like, or edges. You grab the crystal, and if it's covered in blood, like, I don't know. I don't quite understand it. But I feel as though you somehow stabbed this guy, which makes sense. You're full of hatred. So one of these guys probably grabbed the other lady, Mrs. Robinson. He stabbed you, and then you shot him. That makes sense, except for you being strapped in. Well, maybe you weren't strapped in before. You were up and about, because this process hadn't started yet, and you weren't even going to be the first one to have it happen to you, right? You were going to be third, probably. So maybe you were up and about. These guys came in and grabbed Mrs. Robinson. You grabbed a crystal and stabbed them because you're just, like, very hateful. Very, whatever. Instinct-driven. These guys shot you, and then while you were unconscious from the tasering, or I don't know if you become unconscious from being tasered or just unresponsive, I don't know. They strapped you in so you couldn't be a problem again. Now, can we find any evidence to support this theory? The blood trails, are these interesting? So someone walked this way. The bleeding person, I think. Right? These aren't really footsteps, they're just blood dripping everywhere. And someone... I don't know exactly. Like, where was somebody standing when they got stabbed? Over here, I guess. But, like, why are there bloody footprints leading this way if the stabbing happened here? They should be leading away, or they should be non-bloody footprints. Like, this guy is not... The taser doesn't make you bleed all over the place. So this shouldn't be from, like, the tasering. I don't quite understand these footprints. But I think this sort of makes sense. And the person who grabbed was the person stabbed. Bruce Meissen. Grabbed Miss Robinson. Oh, wait, no. The stabbing wasn't Mrs. Robinson who did this. At first I thought that, but it's you. Alex Remington. So, if I'm right about the name Alex, I just have this name to fill in. This is the last reading. Frowny face and... I mean, it's a little bit hard to describe that shape. But I guess it's this one, right? Charlie. So who was... Who was measured last? How could we tell? Because that would clear up which of them is Sam and which is Charlie. You've been here for 6 months. You've been here for a year. So maybe if this foundation really does serve to decrease people's hate over time, even without this procedure, we could maybe guess, or even if it's a total scam and Teysa just makes up numbers, she would give a lower hate and higher enlightenment to the person who's been here for a year. Right? That might suggest that Charlie's been here for a year. That's you. Maybe. I wonder if there's some visual clue, like who this was most recently hooked up to. At first, when I saw this guy was strapped in, I thought he was like an unwilling participant, and it had recently measured him. But that was much earlier. Now it doesn't seem that way. Like, does anyone have electrode jelly rubbed all over them or something? I'm missing something here. I'm also still not 100% sure about this Alex guy, but probably. I'm going to assume that I'm supposed to conclude that... That one's sticking out. It's very weird. Still haven't figured out why it does that sometimes. I'm supposed to conclude that whoever's been a member of the Foundation for the longest has the lowest hate levels. And that would make you Charlie Hall, right? Because you have been here the longest... And Charlie has the lowest hate levels. So let's fill that in and see what the game thinks of me. You're Charlie, and you must be Sam. Correct. Okay. I thought I was going to find more conclusive evidence of this. The game doesn't usually leave you having to make such conclusions. Like, I feel like in the case of the Obra Dinn, or Return of the Obra Dinn, that would make more sense. It doesn't quite fit with the idol's deductive reasoning, as far as I can, in my opinion. Anyway, so they must have grabbed Sam Robinson. Yeah. So obviously I could have filled this in a while ago, but it would have all been like kind of a guess. And it still seems like it was kind of a guess, but I ran out of other things to investigate. Motive. This is the first time events has not been the end of the puzzle. Which 3 clues are needed in order to deduce Alex's motive for protecting Sam? Huh. Well, I needed this one. Well, his motive for protecting Sam, they were just like, she brought him here. They're close buddies. I don't think you need to know about the tasers. Certainly don't need to know about Mittens. This could maybe tell me something, but I'm not sure what. I mean, Alex is just like, he's just some guy, right? He doesn't know anything about what's going on here. You know, his friend just said, hey, come here, there's a cool medical procedure I'd like you to try. And he's like, okay. Light of empathy, dispel the dark force. His motive for protecting Sam. That's so weird. Like, the motive is some cops are trying to take your friend. What else do you need? This is what he used to protect Sam. But it's not part of the motive. Maybe this, like, 6 months chip? Okay, yeah, I did actually kind of need to know this. I needed to know that Sam had been... To know who Sam was, I needed this to know she had been here for 6 months. Maybe. Maybe? To find out that her name was Sam. My mentor was the wisest man I've ever known. Triangle head. These tasers don't really help. Because that happened after Alex tried to protect Sam. Do I need to know that she cared about Mittens and not about Alex? I don't think so, because Sam also didn't say she cared about Alex. This is so strange. Crystals? I don't see how crystals are important. He went over and broke off a crystal and stabbed the guy, but that's not his motive. I mean... But this isn't even Alex's reading, right? That's Charlie's reading. Did I need to know that to figure, like, again, to figure out Alex's name and Sam's name, I needed this clue. To figure out the motive, I don't think I did. I didn't really think I needed the motive to know this. I just needed to know, you needed it to know, I don't think I needed this to know the motive. I needed this to know who was Alex and who was Sam. But, like, you could argue, okay, kind of. These two together, I guess, told me that this was Alex. But it's not the same as Alex's motive. This walkie-talkie just says the cops are coming, right? Copy that, police deployed. I mean, absolutely none of this tells me about Alex's motive. I guess I'm just a bad player. I can only determine what's happening and not why. There is one detail that I'm realizing I haven't explained yet. At first I thought her wrist looked kind of bloody and maybe she had stabbed the guy. I'm now concluding, though, that this must have been where she was grabbed by the security guy. I don't think usually that would make your hand look red. Like maybe it would look pale from having, I don't know. Pale at first from being squeezed hard enough that the blood couldn't get to it properly, and then maybe red afterward as the blood flow is restored. The light and the dark. So, is there some way that this object would tell me something about his motive? She thinks these symbols mean eliminate hatred. So she's trying to make him less of a hater. She's not trying to set him on fire. The device is currently blue. Which is what happens when it wants to decrease something. So it... I just don't understand these clues. Or motive. His motive, he's just a guy. Does this tell him something? Hang on. The importance of standing up for family. I see. So maybe these two are related despite having a different last name? Robinson and Remington, like... This sort of makes some sense then. if I put this in, I don't think it's right. Yeah, but one of them is. If I did this, are they all wrong? Yes. So literally this is my only correct one. These helped me identify Sam and Alex, but not explain the motive, which is what I was saying. Whoa, wait a minute. Is this guy in the other person's family photo? No? I don't think that's the same person. I mean, I know it's black and white versus color. Is he the same guy? I don't think so. Maybe it's an older version of the same guy? The hair's all different, but maybe the face and nose could be the same? I don't think so. This guy's nose is way bigger. He's got a monster schnoz. Someone's blowing out the candles, incidentally. I assume you. Because if they were family, then that photo would make sense. But how can I tell they're family? Because clearly his, like, this thing is important. I mean, the thing is, you could just brute force this, right? You could put in two things you know are wrong and cycle things in until you find which ones are right, and then put in the three that are right. It would be very easy to solve this puzzle if you were willing to just have the game give you the answer. Hang on, is he this guy? I don't think so. Well, maybe. Could be an older version of the... I mean, that's not 100% unbelievable. He's got the same, like, just hair on the ears, maybe? God, I wish I could just look at these together. No, it's not the same person. Like, they've got this whole window system, but you can only use it for solution elements, not for clue elements. Also, this guy just died, and he was 75. This guy looks older than that in 1950. 25 years ago. You turned 50 at some unknown time, but probably recently? So you're not any of those other people. I mean... the taser is certainly a threat, and you could see that the cop is holding a taser and say, oh, I better go stand up for my family. But I think just the cop in general is a threat. I don't think the taser is an important part of that threat. Light of empathy, dispel the dark force. I don't really think this is telling me anything? Yeah, I'm totally lost here. Is there some other clue I should be getting? No? I mean, I guess it's kind of lame, but I'm going to brute force a puzzle here. I'm lost. Like, that's wrong. It's wrong, of course. So is that, of course. Is this scaring him? No. Surely not the cat. Indeed. Not the idol. So this is one of them. And so is this. Is it the three... It's the three photos here? I don't understand why. Continue. Okay, we'll get back to this in a sec. Before the enlightenment process could begin, OPIG officials arrived, backed up by hired goons, to kick everyone out of the building and confiscate everything inside. One of the officers got heavy-handed with a female follower, so her cousin. Okay, we were supposed to determine these two were family, but I could not understand it from those family photos. So her cousin stabbed him before being tasered and restrained. Meanwhile, Tessa Navari tried in vain to rid the OPIG officials of hatred, believing this would make them change their minds about evicting her. I could not connect any of the people in any of those photographs to be each other. So your dad is apparently this person's uncle. Which I guess is here. Whatever he's doing somehow is making him the life of the party. And then I somehow need this picture also to sort it out? I just don't get it. I mean, so I'm recording all of these videos before publishing any of them as I've taken to doing for puzzle games. So, like, you know, you can explain to me in the comments if you want. It won't help me for the rest of this playthrough because I'll finish it before I read the comment. I don't get it. Why? Who are the two people that are supposed to be the same in here? And how are they related to the person in this photo? It just makes no sense. Your mentor, the guy with the triangle on his head, the, like, Buddhist monk who was super old 25 years ago, or at least somewhat old. This guy, apparently the same as this guy. Actually, here's something interesting that I didn't notice, is this actually is handwritten, I guess. So he wrote on the thing what he thought about his dad. I tried to say, are these two people the same? I looked at them both, and I just could not conclude they were the same person. This is an older version, I guess. But, like, the noses are all different. The face wrinkles are sort of the same, but almost nothing looks the same to me about them. I give that, like, a D for puzzling. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there was some obvious clue I missed, but if I really was just supposed to look at those two people and say, oh, they're the same person, some number of years apart, and that's how I was supposed to solve this puzzle, and also this was somehow involved? I don't know, man. I'm not impressed. I guess before doing the story, we should go look at the latest thing it's given me. This would never work the way she imagined, but some of these pieces seem legitimate. Interesting and important. Even the wildest myths are usually grounded in some small fact, I suppose. Oriel Toussaint. Parts not even connected in the back. Looks like she made Gavril's classic translation error. Hate was a reasonable guess. Practically the symbol is linked to fiery passion. Yes, fire. Oh, poetically, fire. Curious to find out what this one might mean. So they've looked inside the thing she put together, and some of it wasn't even connected properly. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Oh, a new thing. Dynamic growth. Empathy. Is this the heat symbol, like on its side or something? I'm not sure. Oh, what's her name like? Westlake. This was Westlake's office, but now... Who is this? Someone red-haired, but not Murray Westlake. Of course I want you back. Nathan said, oh, this must be Mr. Spender? Did he have red hair? Nathan said I could hire an independent consultant, and it was your incredible insight that got me here. Sure doesn't look like him. This project was terminated. I think you're probably an independent consultant, right? Well, no. We know you were a research assistant at some time. I mean, it must be you, right? No. You... hang on. Yeah, who is in this conversation? A weird redhead guy. Taking over Westlake's lab. Okay, maybe the story will help this make sense. With funding from the OPIG Corporation, Marie Westlake ran the... in gray? Doesn't seem right. Well, no, we do know OPIG was funding the Harmony Foundation, actually. Okay, sure. So this was Tessa Navari who ran it. They used parts to build an artifact. Broken parts? Stolen parts? Stolen parts sounds good. Believing it could... in blue. Take hatred and then give enlightenment. No, give empathy. Helping people reach enlightenment. However, it actually didn't work. It did not. It actually... I mean, it reduced heat, right? Maybe it did nothing? Do we have the word nothing? Yes, he did. Nothing, yeah. She was using it wrong. She had a button that she believed was decrease, or like remove hate. But it was actually like it was decrease. It was increase heat, I think. Huh. And all the stuff she was doing was actually just nonsense mumbo jumbo. Okay. I gave her the benefit of the doubt and assumed the people who were stealing her stuff had incorrectly diagnosed her as a quack, but I guess actually she was just like doing total nonsense. Due to probably Tesa's problem? Maybe? The Harmony Foundation building was seized, in a way? Repossessed. So I assume due to Tesa's something. Due to her overspending? Right? That was something that was said earlier in chapter 2, that she's robbing them blind. Right? Well, it could have been discovery. But who discovered it? I mean, not her. The OPIG Corporation decided that everything she had done was just fake. So I think overspending, right? Because a while ago they said, hey, you're robbing us blind. So let's put that in here. Now this is Oriel who realized the device might actually work, I think. Realize do we have work? Yes, we do have work. If it were fixed, rebuilt, sure. The artifact might work if it were rebuilt. Right. Did we ever figure out whether this is before or after they built the lab? It must have been before. Yeah, this is right before they seized the building and turned it into the lab. So they took the artifact apart and were putting it back together to try to understand how it works. Who was in charge of it? I mean, I think Marie Westlake, right? She's not the manager of the whole department or whatever. Head of speculative investment. But she is the lead of the lab. Independent consultant, huh? Who is this guy? Yeah, this is sort of weird to me. Following mid-year inspections. June 12th. Oh, that's before the stuff got set on fire, actually. Which was on the 18th. Interesting. Okay. Was in charge of its reconstruction, but delayed testing or something? But I thought she was delaying it because the board was coming to visit. I thought it would, like she was passing down orders from above about why she couldn't test it. Despite this, who's the guy who touched it? Eugene Marmot. Activated the new device and was denied lab access. Is that a thing? There it is. Yeah. So I still don't understand this quite. Criminy. Okay, there's more to do. After learning about something, someone believed he had been... burned? Do I have burned? No. Because the... believed he had been something... Well, the device was actually set to decrease heat, which froze the bird bath, right? Is what we're talking about here? Take red. Fire? Heat. Believed that the rebuilt artifact, do I have the word device? No. Had been set to, so probably after learning about the Harmony Foundation, Eugene Marmot believed he had been like mind controlled or something? I don't quite understand. Punished? So the device was, he believed it was set to take hatred. Well, to reduce hatred, really, right? To, during like an inspection or something, during a board inspection. Ah, right. But she had the increase and decrease backwards. So the device was set to increase hatred, and he thought that's why people punished him. They explained to him how the device works and said, oh, the sys setting is to increase hatred. And he's like, oh no, that's why they hate me. No, it's just because you're bad at your job. So he snuck in and tried to set it to, oh, let's reduce everybody's hatred, which actually was to increase heat. Give all the heat that had been, let me grab his names again, Eugene Marmot. He tried to set it to take hatred. But he actually set it to give heat, which caused a fire? Started a fire. Is this really Eugene Marmot's photo here? He's got red hair. And a cast on his arm. The cast makes sense. I'm supposed to believe this guy's red-headed? Look at him. His hair is like a little bit, you know, it's brown. Maybe you could call it reddish brown, but it's not this color, which is the color of the person on the phone, of their hair. Maybe I should have started a separate episode just for tying up this story here. I think rewarded him with a promotion, right? Like, I know it just like beggars belief, but I think that this is Mr. Cheeto Fingers himself, Eugene, what's his name, who's been promoted for successfully causing a fire. And he's got the cast because, like, his arm burned in the fire. His right arm. Is that correct? Yeah? Makes sense. The fire also made... It burned off all of his hair, so he wears a wig now, and he chose red hair? Maybe. Eugene Marmots. So it must be Nathan, right? Who was impressed. Nathan Hoyle was impressed by Eugene Marmot's discovery? Sure. I really... Today has been a day of looking at pictures of people and not understanding that they're the same person, apparently. Both the family photos in The Procedure, and this being Eugene Marmot? I mean, the facial structure does look similar. And the cast makes sense, but the hair is all wrong. Even his eyebrows are red. Who gets an eyebrow wig? Okay, so the hierarchy then. I guess after the rejiggering, you're fired. You were promoted. And you are the independent consultant who helped him understand things. And maybe Marie is working under you now? No. Who is this guy again? This is the... Well, okay. I mean, the project was terminated, but... These are all... Well, oh, July 12th, not June 12th. So this is well afterward. Yes, okay. Did he hire you? I see. It was her insight, but he got it from her, and so I was a little confused about it. Okay. And that's what we'll be doing with the IDOL, the idol, next. That's going to cause all sorts of legal problems. It's totally unscientific. Where's our control group? Sounds good to me. I'm sure the universe will guide us. Excellent. Full steam ahead, then. They're going to, like, brainwash homeless people? That's science for you. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.